Starting with the coffin top. Firstly, I think this hat should be restricted to Demoman only as it seems to fit his style the most. It also looks to be very medium tier. A hat that would probably not be very expensive in the long run but would definitely be sought after because of its beauty and affordability at the same time. As number 2 we have Torture's Twin Tails. Now, if this cosmetic does not scream Halloween, we might as well cancel it. It looks incredibly creepy and adds even more mystery to Pyro's true identity. Plus it is fully paintable, allowing lots and lots of expression. I think painting cosmetics, especially the hair ones, is very awesome. Now, let's redefine what an unusual hat is, because this one seems to be that. Sure, it does not have any particle effects, but it at least must have to be a god tier crate hat. It reminds me a lot of Super Mario type enemies, such as boulders and the Bullet Bill. I think it looks nice, and because it is not very tall, it fits all the classes altogether. In case the Chopper Topper did not cut it for you and you wanted a more grim choice, here it is, the Gravedigger. It's a fairly similar hat from afar, however has a more used, vintage look to it. The addition of the band with the skeleton face certainly adds mystery and makes you look like a profound Halloween slayer. Valve is having a problem getting rid of the hackers luring the servers, but now you can take matters to your own hands and mop them out of the park. Mophead is a really goofy looking cosmetic that attempts to resemble a haircut. It seems to only be available for Pyro and Soldier, which is unfortunate because I really wanted my Heavy to have a similarly goofy cut. This hat really reminds me of the Medic's Das Übersternmann, which makes me think it should be only available for the Spy. If that would be the case, the Spy could now look like a black market detective for hire. I really enjoyed this hat's design and the power it seems to embody within itself. Case of Murder is nothing but a call to action for Valve to start adding more companion pets to the game. The hat itself is far from exciting or beautiful, however the crow standing on it fixes it beyond insanity. The addition of its feathers and perhaps a well-picked cosmetic cloak for the Spy would make it an incredibly cool set that many Spy mains would aspire to obtain. Myself included. Except I don't mean Spy. I really do not believe that this will ever make it to the game, however it is one of the coolest, spookiest and insane pieces of cosmetic headwear I have ever seen in my lifetime. It really reminds me, and I think it draws inspiration from the popular metal band's Slipknot wearables. I hope Valve will look to make an exception to their often strict design style and let me get this one. Medic's Mummy is one of those rare cosmetics that have two very similar, however distinctly different styles. One of them is a default wrap called Ancient, while the other one only adds a bloody bandage, turning it into a warp patient instead. Very simple, however well constructed cosmetic. Now this is a redefinition of Pyro's cold-blooded work in Meet the Pyro. The flood barrier reminds me a lot of the movie I Still Know What You Did Last Summer from 1998, which is a horror classic. Combined with the Pyro's rain jacket, it makes for a chilling combination. Food for Thought is definitely one of the goofiest cosmetics in this list. It certainly makes you doubt to ever make it into the game, but then once you give it more thinking, you can definitely see it at least as a holiday restricted cosmetic, as it certainly is one of the most Halloween tailored cosmetics in this list. Yet another unofficially unusual hat. It's a very good idea that absolutely made me laugh out loud the first time I read its name. However, I would assume that the saw would not be moving if it was added to the game, fully ruining the hat's potential. I also believe it should be an all-class hat. Pyro has a lot of hats that fully redefine its head shape. That is of course only possible because we do not know the full origin of the class. The Candlelite Vigilante looks extremely awesome, not only because of all the crazy sets you could make with it, but also because of the painting possibilities. There could be many different approaches on how to style the hat, especially considering how candles have different insides and patterns. We didn't really get to talk about Scout, so here's what we got. A hat that might not be particularly exciting in terms of its looks, however one that embodies Scout's bully and comedic nature at its finest. Fly around the map pranking enemies and making their life miserable, like a true clown that he is. Remember seeing those spooky-ass puppet nurses in Silent Hill for the first time and suddenly shutting off your device to hopefully never return to the game ever again? Well, you've grown up, and it's time to get over your horror instead and run around inflicting terrible childhood memories on smaller kids. Silent Pill may have difficulty reaching TF2 because of its extremely close resemblance to a huge franchise that is about to make a comeback. However, I have to admit, I would pay good money to see it in game. For the time being, that would be all the hats I thought were great. Hopefully we get at least some of them added with the release of our newest update, which should be the next Scream Fortress. As always, thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing and checking out my other videos. In the last one, I did my best to prove why Medic is definitely one of the hardest classes to play and is 100% not boring.